Today's video, I want to chat to you guys about these new UIF TERS audits that they're busy sending out. My name is Heinrich from SA Accounting Network, and I've been in the accounting industry since 2008, and I think all of us can still remember that horrible time that all of us had to go through, and how relieved we were when the Department of Labour and UIF actually started contributing towards the ordinary citizens out there. I think I read an article that I think they paid out like 50 billion rand in UIF TERS payments to people, various people over that time. And I think the sad thing is, during the 2021 year alone, they reckon 1,000 businesses closed just during that time for just because of lockdown. So obviously, if you guys are busy watching this video, the chances are very good that you probably received one of those audit verification letters. And I think in today's video, there's probably three classes of people, or three different types of people that I'm busy talking to. First one is people that maybe had a business and now all of a sudden you've got this thing where you've got a small business and you can't really afford to pay an accountant to help you with this process. And that is why I want to give you guys all the tools and all the templates that you can do this UIF template or this UIF audit yourself. The second group of people is all my accounting friends out there. Like I said, I've compiled this list and compiled all the documents. If you maybe come across something that was helpful to you, please feel free to share it with me as well, so I can put it out on my platform as well. I believe that is something that all of us is going to go through. The more that we can help each other, the better. I'm actually busy with the experiment, which is called the sufficiency experiment, where a lot of us sit with a scarcity mindset, where we just want to keep everything for ourselves versus having a sufficiency mindset to say, listen guys, let's share the information, the knowledge that we've got. There's more than enough for all of us. And especially if you look at something stupid like these audits, we don't have time to sit and do these things as accountants. That's why I just want to put it out there so the normal people out there can actually do it themselves as well. And then the third group of people, I think, is business owners out there, people who are successful. And I will encourage you guys, if you see these letters, get your accountant, get them to do it for you. So let me head on to my computer, then I can show quickly what the letter looks like and what my advice is when you get this letter. And then I'm going to run through all the documents that I've compiled. That's basically going to cover all the topics or all this big list of different things that they expect from you. So let me head on to my computer. Before I do that, remember to hit the like button, remember to subscribe to my channel, and let me show you quickly what this is about. So, if you're busy watching this video, the chances are very good that you received one of these letters, and you can see this is a big boy, and there's a lot of stuff that they're asking for. So the very first thing that I would suggest if you receive one of these letters, a lot of people think, I'll just put my head in the sand and just pretend that I never received it. The first thing that you must do, most of these letters, they tell the people, guys, you have to submit these documents within 3 days or within 5 days. And if you look at this list of documents, there's no ways that you can get this stuff through to, or ordinary normal working people can't get this stuff through to within 3 or 5 days. So the first thing is just reply to the email, ask the auditor, whoever is busy doing the verification, ask them if you can get an extension, ask them for a month extension. So at least you have more time to properly go through your records and just compile everything in the format that they wanted. Because I think what's going to make this process easier if you do the work for them. So the better you can compile your documents and just tick all the boxes that they ask you, the better the chances are that this thing is just going to go through. If you submit half the documents, or if your stuff is incomplete or not accurate, then you're just going to postpone this whole process. So my advice to you is do the auditor's work for him. So let me quickly show you. So you can see this is the list. So they have a long list of your bank statements showing the COVID money received to date, the money paid to employees of the employees. So remember back then when we were doing those COVID TERS payments, I saw today that you could actually still log into the system. It is still working. You're finding at the moment is down, but the TERS system is for some reason still working. So you could actually, in theory, block in there and just have a look and see what you submitted back then. Obviously, I do remember at that time that we had to submit all these documents to them back then in any case. So they're just asking for the same stuff again. So we have to show them the bank statements, the money that you received, and then the money paid out to the employers. Payroll reports, we'll talk about that. Contract of employment for appointment letters, we'll talk about that. Copy of passport documents of foreign nationals, if you did have any of those working for you. Tax clearance for that applicable application period, that is something that I'm going to talk about. The reconciliation of the funds received versus the funds paid out, the bank confirmation letter submitted with the claims. So hopefully when you guys did these TERS applications, that you saved these documents. Remember, we're talking 4.5 years ago already. In theory, you're supposed to keep documents for 5 years. So hopefully you did save those letters. Otherwise, write them a letter and just say that you don't have the bank confirmation letter again. Payslips, we'll talk about that quickly. IP5s, we're going to talk about. MP201s, Let's maybe talk about the IP5 and MP201. So they can see that they're asking for the 2021-2020 year and for the 2021 year, and then the MP201, which I assume is for the periods during the lockdown. So remember that your TERS payments is not a taxable amount in the hands of the employee, and the employers were basically just the agent working on behalf of the Department of Labor. So they were just receiving the money from the Department of Labor and paying it out to the employees. So in theory, the employees weren't supposed to be paying tax on the benefits that they received, and I think that is just the reason that they want to check those things, just to see how many people they applied for and how many people you've got in your payroll. So, and then there's a communication letter of the temporary closure of the business. I can't remember that was compulsory, but we've got a template for that. Clocking records, attendance register, we're going to talk about. Proof of payment for COVID funds to employees. So you should have those proof of payment still. Proof of any refunds. I do remember that there's some people that you pay refunds back to them. Salary increase letters if applicable. Termination letters if applicable. Proof of leave income during the application periods. And then this, they say additional stuff. The letter of authority. Subsidy documents. Proof of advances paid to employees if applicable. Tax clearance, current one. And in current EMP 201. So let me show you what I have prepared for you guys. So I've prepared a checklist. So let's start with the checklist. So all these documents, I'm going to put it in the description of this video. I'm going to share a link where you can go download all these documents. How many documents? There's 14 documents that are prepared for you guys that you can just go and complete these things. So let me maybe open up the checklist first, then you can see what the checklist looks like. So what I've done is I tried to make it easy. Let's just quickly wait for it to open. This is what the checklist looks like. And you can see that you can maybe even go print this thing out. And then you see there's a work in progress, and a yes button over there. So you can tick off all the stuff that as you're busy working through this list. So this is exactly the same stuff that is on the letter. So you can say, no, I haven't started collecting this stuff. Yes, it's a work in progress. Yes, I've completed that stuff. And I would also suggest that the same as what I did on my computer over here, I've got one folder for this talk that I'm busy doing. So maybe you can create a folder on your computer as well, where as you're busy going through this checklist, and just go save all the documents, reference it according to the numbers as well. And you can even use this checklist as well to send that through when you're sending the documents through to the inspector that's going to be handling it. So yeah, so let's quickly run through the first thing. Bank statements showing all the COVID-19 payments received and payments made to employees. So get those bank statements together, save it inside that folder. And remember, it's only for the months for which you claimed. So if you received, let's say for instance in May or in April, I can't even remember the exact date. So if you received the payment in April, then you're going to save that bank statement to reflect the money you received and obviously the payments made out to your employees. The payroll reports from January 2020 to the last month of the application. So a lot of businesses work with payrolls. So if you do have payroll reports, print them, save them inside there. A lot of small businesses don't have a payroll system. Some of the guys work manually, so I think in that case, domestic workers, all that stuff, I saved inside this folder. I saved the report for you over there that you can use this spreadsheet, which is MP201 2021. So this has got all the tax tables from that year in there. So you can go use this. And what you do is you can see at the moment it shows March 2023, March 2020. So you're going to put in your worker's name over there. You're going to say what that person earned for that month. You can see it calculates the pays in and the UIF altogether for you. And you can see what the net salary is. So even if the guys, if you start with March, you're just going to list all the guys and then just hear about the salary amounts. So if the guys didn't receive money because it was COVID, you're just going to change these amounts down to 0. And then you've got the list of all the guys that was in the payroll. So if you only claim for the first period, which I think was March, then you're just going to save the March one. If it was March and April, take this thing, copy it, make another tab, and then you paste it over there. And this is going to be your payroll record. So, I mean, if you don't have an official payroll system that you're working on, then that is it. Let's quickly see what else is on my checklist over there. Let me just get back to my checklist. Where is my checklist? Okay, here we go. And then employee contracts or appointment letters for the period of the claim. Let's have a look and see what I've done there. So under number 3, I've got an appointment letter, or because remember they give us 2 options to say either appointment letter or employment contract. So I've created an appointment letter that you could probably just put in your letterhead, put in the dates. Remember, this is going to be the date when he was employed, the employee name, his address. So this is just the appointment letter. So everything with these brackets, you put in your stuff. and say what the conditions was. Just keep it as basic as possible. Sign it. If you do have them on record, then it's fine, then you can use those. But if you don't have it, fill in this thing, just don't date it today, because obviously we're looking at March 2020, so we're looking further back. Yeah, then there's a basic employment contract as well that you can use for the same period over there. Like I said, you're going to have to sit and do a little bit of homework. There's a lot of admin that needs to be done. So you definitely going to have to book out some time to go through this process over here. So that is number 3. Let's quickly see what was the next thing. We are busy with, let me quickly see my checklist. Yeah, so employee contracts or appointment letters for the period of the claim. The next one is the passport copies of the foreign national employees. So if you did have any passports or people from foreign nationals that were working for you, then you need that. Then the tax clearance certificate for the application period. So this is quite an interesting thing, because back then, when we were busy with the TERS applications, there was no condition that you had to be tax compliant. I know with some of the other stuff, with the grants and stuff, there was a condition that you had to be compliant, but I don't know why they're asking for this. So if for some reason you do have your tax clearance saved for that period, just save it inside that folder, reference it number 5, it's fine. If you don't have that, I've prepared a letter for you that you can also use. And then this number 5, you're just going to put in your details from your business in here. Just to say, listen guys, here's my letter, here's my date, whoever it is, unavailability of my tax clearance certificate for the UIF TERS audit. So we acknowledge the receipt of your request for the documents. Our company with the UIF register number, one requested document is the tax clearance certificate. We would like to clarify that at the time of application, the temporary employment relief system, a tax clearance certificate was not a condition for the application process. As a result, our company did not retain a copy of the tax clearance certificate for that period. So at least you can submit something for that. Let's quickly jump back to my checklist. So that is number 5. Number 6, they ask for a reconciliation of the TERS funds received and paid to employees. So there, once again, I created a nice little spreadsheet that you guys can complete. And that, so what you're going to do, if you've got a couple of different periods that you claim for, you're going to just copy and paste this one again, once again. So remember, you would have received a payment at a specific date, so you're going to put the date in there, and then the amount that you received. So if you received 20,000, you're going to put it in there. TERS payment date, so the date on which you paid it out, which employee it was, what his ID number is, and what the amount was that was paid out. Then right at the bottom, you can see it's going to total whatever the total is that you received. It's going to total the amount that's paid out, and the difference hopefully will be 0, which means that your reconciliation is done between what you received and what you paid out. So just quickly just jump back to my checklist. So that is that one. Bank confirmation letter submitted with the TERS application. So hopefully you do still have your bank confirmation letter. I remember it was one of the documents that was compulsory. Probably if you don't have it anymore, write them a letter. Payslips. So now they ask for from January 2020 to the last month of the application. So the problem at the moment is that the UIF system is broken. We can't get into U-filing, so we can't see what was declared during those months. So hopefully you guys did save your UIF declarations for those periods, because you obviously need to submit payslips. So if you have a payroll program, print your payslips from that thing, and then you're going to send that through. If you don't have that one, don't worry. I've got a template for you that you can use as well, and there's a payslip sample that you can use. So this one, once again, depending on how many employees you've got, you're going to complete this to say what's the employee's name for which period it is. So this is probably going to be March 2020 or January 2020 to 1 Jan to 31 Jan. The identity, the ID number, and the occupation, appointment date, pay frequency. You can leave most of the stuff out. Salary, if it was 10,000 Rand. So you'll see that if I change this residences to 5,000 Rand, then this one up here must become 5,000 Rand. And I think the UIF amount will change itself. The pay as you earn, if it's below that threshold, you can make it 0, and you can see there is your payslip. So then obviously for each employee, you're probably going to have to do 3 or 4 payslips on this template over here. Maybe just take a copy and paste it, and then save that for one employee, do the next one. And these as well is you print them as PDFs. Don't send the Excel through, print the PDF and send the PDFs through to them. Yeah, so let's quickly see. Yes, we were busy with our checklist. Let me quickly just jump back to my checklist. Where's my checklist? My checklist is over here. Next one, IIP 5, so 2020 and 2021. So if you have your IIP 5 systems for that period, ask your accountant, ask your auditors for those things. If you're doing it yourself, you can do that as well. the MP returns for the period of the audit. So like I said, depending on how many months you claim for, you would submit the MP 201s. Let's say, for instance, because a lot of people claim for the domestic employee, so you weren't registered for pay as you earn. So then you just write the letter and say, listen, I was not registered for pay as you earn. I cannot supply with the MP 201 because I was a domestic employer. Therefore, there is no MP 201s. It was not a requirement at the date when we were busy with these applications. Now, communication letter regarding temporary business closure during lockdown. I think if you do have something like that, it's fine. Submit it through. If you don't have something like that, it's fine. I did one for you. So you can take this one again, put in your letterhead over there, put in the date. Obviously, I can't even remember when lockdown started, but it said to all employees, subject temporary closure of business. Put in your details over there and then print that, sign it if you want, and then that would be your communication letter to say that the business is temporarily closed. I cannot remember that it was compulsory for us to actually issue those letters to our employees. If you think of domestic workers and stuff, everybody just followed the news and everybody was just supposed to stay at home. We weren't forced to send letters to say that we are busy closing that. Next one, let's quickly just jump back to our checklist over here. So the checklist, so that was the communication regarding the close of the business, clocking reports, attendance register for the lockdown period. So once again, if you don't have one, I've made one for you. So this attendance register, you're going to complete this with your information of your business. So you're going to say, obviously, your company name, employee attendance register, period, from which month it was for. Going to say what their names was, the dates that they worked, the dates that they were absent, and then just the reason. You're going to say lockdown because obviously those were the periods that we weren't working. So yeah, so that is what you're going to do. At the bottom, you can probably take out the supervisor's name and supervisor's signature if you were just a domestic employee or you've got a very small business, then don't worry about that. But as long as you submit something, and once again, like I said, don't send them the Excels, print it, sign it, scan it in, and then that is the document that you would then submit through to them. Refund report template. Wait, hang on. Now quickly go back. We missed something. So back to the checklist. Where's my checklist now? Here's my checklist. So, clocking reports or attendance register for the lockdown period. So if you don't have one, use mine. Proof of payments of TERS funds to employees. So remember, I do remember when we were doing these claims that we actually had to upload the proof of payments to their website. So if you can get in to the website, you can probably go download it there. Hopefully you did save it on your computer, but that is what you need to submit through to them. Payment of any refunds to the UIF. I remember some guys did get overpaid, so if there was refunds due back to them. Salary increase letters if it's applicable, termination letters if it's applicable, and I think I created a termination letter as well. So if there were guys that you had to let go due to COVID, there's your termination letter. You can say that we regret to inform you that the employment of the company will be terminated from whichever date, and this is after careful consideration, and then you can see with the reasons. I just put in something there about the COVID now. So that's important over there. And then let's have a look at the next document they're asking for, the checklist. So then they say proof of leave income during the application, if applicable. Then number 18, letter of authority. So they just ask for a letter of authority, so we made them a letter of authority, and we assume that it's just to give whoever's going to be doing this audit on your behalf just the authority to do it. So you're going to put in your company name, registration number, date, to who to concern. This is to serves to authorize the person from this company to act on behalf of the company in all matters relating to the TERS audit or for claims made during the COVID-19 period. So it's just, if you've got like an accountant or somebody doing it for you, then obviously you have to have a letter of authority. If it's just you, if you're just doing it for yourself, just put your name in everywhere, sign the thing, put it in there, because I think sometimes these guys work with a tick box mentality. So if they find one document is missing, then they're going to chase you for it. So just put something in there. Just make sure you tick all the boxes. Let's quickly see. And the next one that they were asking for, on the checklist, there's a CIPC registration document. So this one is also very debatable. If you don't have a registered company, remember we were looking at domestic employees and all that stuff. So if you were just a domestic employee, we've given you guys a template over here as well. Say, listen, I did not register a company. I was not trading as a company. And then at least you can submit something. Let me quickly show you what that letter looks. So the CIPC letter, we just say we acknowledge the receipt of a request for the documents For my name, UIF number, we understand one of the requested documents that the registration with CIPC. We would like to clarify that as a sole proprietor or individual employed domestic workers, we are not registered with CIPC. So that is what you're going to do. You're just going to submit that document to them. Let's quickly see what else is there. The checklist. Current tax clearance certificate. If you've got a current tax clearance certificate, you're just going to attach it as one of the documents and you're going to send through. If you don't have one, obviously we have created a letter for you as well. There's our current tax clearance letter, and this one as well. If you can't get a tax clearance at the moment, like I said, it was never a requirement. So you just acknowledge the receipt of a request for documentation as part of the audit, and one of the documents is a tax clearance certificate. We would like to inform you that currently I'm able to obtain a tax clearance due to, then you can give a brief explanation of what's wrong, and we're actively working to resolve the situation. The last one I think was EMP 201. I don't think I've written a letter for that one, but they now ask for the current EMP 201 and proof of payment. So if you perhaps not an employee anymore, if you closed your business down due to lockdown, yes, then you're just going to, once again, just put something on a piece of paper. Say, listen guys, was never registered for Pay-As-You-Earn, or I'm not currently registered for Pay-As-You-Earn, and then just sign the document. And I think if I look at the list, I think that is the list of all the documents. Like I say, for me personally, it doesn't make sense that like 4.5 years or 4 years after lockdown, now they come and ask this long list of questions. I do realize that there were people out there that were scam, that was trying to defraud the Department of Labor, and those guys must rightly be held accountable for it. But I think for most of the guys, I mean, we submitted this stuff during COVID, but it's fine. Take some time, make sure you complete this thing. If you don't do this, I think you can get into serious trouble. So rather be on the safe side. And once again, like I said, first thing that you must do is write these Oaks a letter. Tell them, listen guys, give me an extension, give me 30 days, and then every single day make sure that you tick one of these things off the box. Don't leave it for one day, because if something goes wrong, then you're maybe not going to be able to do everything on this one day. Yes, thanks for watching the video. Remember once again to hit the like, remember to hit subscribe, and then like I said, the link to all these documents will be in the description of this video. Thanks for watching.